Oh boy. Let's try to get through this video without too much shouting. Hey, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash, the honors, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim wa Akwa, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. I got another video, y'all. I just came across this. Apparently this clip just came out 3 days ago. Not surprisingly, you know, your boy Matt Walsh is back making more outlandish statements. And the new one is that the slaves did not build America. Essentially, y'all, we just didn't. I don't even, if we were to let them, with this terminology, it's called, that I've just come across, it's called revisionist history. It's this phenomenon with Edom here in America because of the fact that they're ashamed of their past. They're retelling the events of the foundation of this country, and they're trying to make it look as if Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans didn't contribute to this country, and that the so-called white man did no wrongdoing in the founding of this country, which is just a complete lie. When I say we, the Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, were utterly crucial and integral in the foundation, establishment, and building of this country. Without our labor, without our blood, sweat, tears. One second. Without our blood, sweat, and tears, this country quite literally would not exist, nor would it be able to remain maintained. Slaves build. Masters and rulers live off of that prosperity. A very simple concept. Matt Walsh is simply a liar, y'all. A very quick Google search will tell you, who built this country. Very simple. Let's let this insanity play. Try not to lose your mind.
Slaves did not build this country. This country was built over the course of hundreds of years, beginning long before it was a country. The building started in the 1400s when the first European explorers sailed across treacherous and uncharted seas to discover these lands. It continued with the European settlers in the 1500s and 1600s who built a life for themselves in this unknown wilderness, facing untold threats and, for many of them, certain death. This country was built by the colonists.
1 second.
And the American revolutionaries. It was built by the pioneers who expanded the country from the east, heading west out into a hostile wilderness occupied by warring Indian tribes. It was built by war and conquest, by discovery, by diplomacy, by industry. It was built and then...
Diplomacy, funny.
Nearly undone by a civil war that killed 620,000 men. Then built up again, only to thrive once more.
What was the cause of that civil war? And after the civil war, what group of people were used to rebuild the country? Interesting.
The country was built by the people who made it into the world's great power in the 20th century, who won world wars and brought about peace and economic prosperity. It was built by many people over many centuries. And for a portion of that history, some people in some parts of the country owned slaves. Slaves.
It's not even worth kicking and screaming about. It's so blasphemous. You can't take it serious. This is actually what you call revisionist history. They're trying to repaint history because they're ashamed. You go to the comments, it's war, right? People clapping and lauding him, and then you have people, some of his own people, Edomites, telling him telling him that he's wrong. Somebody said, an old Edomite, where's that comment? I gotta find that. Discovered, right? This land was occupied by hostiles. Oh, you mean the natives who were living here when you came and occupied them, right? Here, this comment was funny. This is from an old Edomite. He says, was there ever a face better suited, more ready and deserving of a Mike Tyson in his prime knuckle sandwich? God damn. Like, it's completely, it's just a lie. It's such a grand lie, you'd almost believe it. This is why, y'all, when the so-called white man speaks, you don't let him talk for too long. He has a way of talking. He has his business suit on. The camera's fixated on him. He has his glasses on, right? but he's lying to you. And if you didn't know any better, you'd believe him. So let's see some of the things that we've built in this country. Remember, when those conquistadors came over there, who showed them how to adapt and survive on this land? The so-called Native Americans. What was their payment for showing them how to live on this land? Rape, robbery, and murder. Many of them were butchered and slaughtered. Many of them were enslaved to bring them more gold and silver. And then when the Northern Kingdom slaves were dying off too quickly, who was outsourced to replace their fleeting numbers? Our black asses, Southern Kingdom. So simply don't mind what he's saying. It says enslaved people in the U.S., the Southern Kingdom, heavily built a wide array of structures, including the U.S. Capitol, the White House, which is why it's a running joke in the black community, but he wouldn't know that. They should call it the Black House. And if any of y'all, you brothers and sisters, right, growing up in a nigga household, the older females in the house might have said, I remember hearing that joke plenty of times. They ought to call it the Black House because we built it. That wasn't just a fucking something to say while the old niggas was in the kitchen cooking. It's literal. The White House and numerous plantations, roads. Their labor was essential for the construction and development of the nation, though often unacknowledged. And that's what we just witnessed. Our labor was crucial, but it is unacknowledged. And we're just looking at some of the things. U.S. Capitol says what? Involved in all aspects of its construction, from carpentry and masonry to plastering and painting, plain and simple. Played a crucial role in building the White House, plain and simple. Plantations, which this, houses, mansions, right? Places of dwelling for the master, obviously. Railroads. What do you think the story of, what's that black man's name? I forget, who's swinging the pickaxe faster than the machine. Oh, how could I forget his name? Y'all know the story. Give me 1 second. John Henry. Where do you think the myth of John Henry comes from? The black man with the hammer, all right, or a pickaxe, steel driving man. He could outwork the machine. Where do you think that myth comes from, you fucking idiots? John Henry. Coming back, railroads, other infrastructure, roads, ports, and even parts of Wall Street were built with enslaved labor. Colleges and universities. What are we talking about? U.S. Capitol, Monticello, Mount Vernon, Wall Street, the Smithsonian Museum, a major college, University of North Carolina, Fort Sumter, Harvard. Come on. Y'all, what he was saying can clearly be rebuked by Google. Let me start with this scripture right here, man. Hey, y'all, it's when we get these people in our hands, it's going to be such a bittersweet thing. What's funny about it, and I was having this conversation with our camp head, Elder Gabar, here recently. When I be finding videos like that, y'all, hey, you brothers, right? Because you have social media accounts, right? You have a friends list. You have people in the world that you know on your friends list. When I looked at that video, some of the people that liked the video were Edomites on my friends list in the world, right? People, motherfuckers from the gym, motherfuckers from jobs. All the people that was liking it was Edomites, who, when you're in front of them, they smile in your face, right? Oh, you're my pal, you're my buddy. But that's the shit that they're off secretly liking. You stupid motherfuckers don't even have enough sense just to save it in private. You publicly liking it. Showing you, y'all, this is how Edom feels. They're ashamed of their history. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. All right, but no lie is going to be able to put down the truth. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. That is a real live time example of this scripture. That video, y'all, we literally built the integral parts of this country. Now, we didn't build every single thing here. Nobody said that. Obviously, all kinds of nationalities of people help build things. We never denied that. But you cannot sit here and deny at the foundation of this country in its early days, who was What three classes of people built this country while the master reaped the rewards? The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the biblical Israelites of the 12 tribes: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Manasseh, Ephraim, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar, Gad, Reuben, Zebulun, may have already said, so on and so forth, right? We quite literally built this country, and we get no credit for it. Like it said in Google, unacknowledged. Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. That's what's going to make this so great, y'all. When we finally get our comeuppance, it's going to be great to have this shame that we have on us now, the discredit and the down-putting we get. When we get raised up on that magnificent level, it's going to be amazing, because these people talk down crazy on us, y'all. Hey, dealing with Esau, it's like we're in a fucking fantasy land. You wouldn't believe that he would just say something so simply outlandish. Right, got this little clip right here. 5 American icons built by slaves. I'd love to type in, things built by, I'm going to have to do that next. Things built by Native Americans and Latinos. Because remember in that clip, he called them savages, right? Which, the idea that Esau likes to paint everybody is uncivilized until he shows up. That's simply not true, right? Everybody has a different form of culture. What other people consider technology, advanced and good, isn't what he considers. So if you're not in line with him, he considers you primitive, right? Which gives him the leeway to wipe you out. A complete demon. Why are we in this country? Did we just spawn out of the grass or all fall out of the air? We were literally brought here in the millions to be used as a labor force. What are you talking about? Thomas Jefferson's estate, Montecillo, which we just saw earlier. So here it is, these big ass houses that the presidents were living in. Who built them? And Jefferson was known for having a whole heap of slaves. What are we talking about? Wall Street, and infamously was one of the first products traded on Wall Street, the slaves. The railways for the trains all throughout the country. And we know that this is especially true because of what? The convict leasing era, post-slavery, especially for the southern states who still wanted massive amounts of labor done. What did they do? Create all kinds of laws to target black freedmen and whatnot, to be able to induce them back into slavery by way of what? Punishment of a crime. Convict leasing. What are we talking about? Come on, you can't make this shit up, Joe. Another little thing, 15 American landmarks that were built by slaves. Of course, the White House, as we've seen. Capitol building, as we've seen, right? I'm just going through quickly. The Statue of Freedom atop the Capitol. How about that? The Smithsonian Institution of Washington, D.C. But remember, we didn't build anything. Wall Street. We didn't build anything. Trinity Church in New York, that famous church. You've seen that. We've seen that in fucking the Spider-Man movie, man. Come on, bro. Francis Tavern in New York. Faneuil Hall in Boston. Fort Sumter, South Carolina. Harvard Law School in Massachusetts. The acclaimed Harvard. this place? A fort. Georgetown University. How about that? University of Carolina and North Carolina. How about that? Montecillo in Virginia. How about that? Another place in Virginia. Another place in Virginia. Come on, stop it. I typed in this, right? And this is obvious. It says that while the forced labor of Native Americans is not as widely documented, so just because it's not widely documented doesn't mean it didn't happen. But it says what? It says as that of enslaved Africans, they were indeed used as laborers in various capacities, including building projects. Native American slaves were involved in the construction of buildings like the White House and U.S. Capitol, according to the White House Historical Association. So we're not making this up. This isn't black splaining. This isn't us trying to rewrite history. You, in your own historical records, admit to the fact that Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans built up very crucial and important infrastructure in this country. So once again, these people, they're ashamed of their history, so they're willing to say anything. And now because of the internet, you have the ability, people whose opinions are absolutely worthless and are not credible have the ability to gain a social media following. That's all that is. Let me do this. Convict leasing was a system of forced penal labor that was practiced historically in the southern United States before it was formally abolished in the 20th century. Under this system, private individuals and corporations could lease labor from the state in the form of prisoners, nearly all of whom were black. Let's see, what are some of the things that these imprisoned Negroes were building? Where were they? Oh, hold up. Whoa. Still linked up to today, right? Wow. It says prisoners today produce products that have been bought by companies like McDonald's, Walmart, and Cargill. Some of the big three, right? Showing you today that prison labor is still a profitable thing today, which is why the majority of prisoners are minorities, not because they're all the criminals, but because it is a continuation of a silent slavery going all the way back to these days. Now we're gonna keep scrolling. Boy, oh boy, y'all! I'm telling you, if you didn't know any better, you'd believe every Edomite that ever spoke. You can't do that. It says the system was highly lucrative for both the leasees and the state governments. For example, in 1898, 73% of Alabama's annual state revenue came from convict leasing. Corruption, lack of accountability, and violence resulted in one of the harshest and most exploitative labor systems known in American history. African Americans, mostly adult males, due to vigorous and selective enforcement of laws and discriminatory sentencing. So, purposely locking up Negroes under various crimes that are petty so that they can be used for forced labor. Come on. It says comprise the vast majority, though not all, the convicts leased. Right. So you did have a couple white folks swept up in it. But Esau doesn't mind torturing his own people. These states after the war rebuilt their infrastructure during the Reconstruction period by way of convict leasing. This is one of the big ones. I just want to get some of the things that they built. Right here. Convict leasing, a system of forced penal labor prevalent in the southern United States after the Civil War, significantly contributed to the construction and operation of a wide range of infrastructure and industries. Right to it. Railroads, roads, bridges, levees, right, to keep the water back. Buildings and public works, canals, mines, farms and plantations, factories and manufacturing facilities. Come on. It is important to remember that this labor system was marked by brutal conditions, inhumane treatment, high mortality rates, and was a clear extension of post-emancipation efforts to exploit African American labor. What are we talking about? So Matt, don't pay Matt Walsh no mind, y'all. Remember, what did the prophecy dictate? You go to Jeremiah, what is that, 50 and 33. It didn't say we came here to play ping pong. We didn't come here to ice skate. We were brought over here as captives to build this land up for Esau, Edom. Southern kingdom was brought over here, linked up with northern kingdom. According to prophecy, Jeremiah 50 and 33, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. We were brought captives here, and we were forced to work, even still to this day. And even after slavery was abolished, what did they come with to keep us? So they could still make profit. And it wasn't just states in the South. North had them too. States like New York, states like here where I'm at, Michigan, right? If you really go into all the articles and whatnot. Even when they were supposed to let us go, they didn't want to let us go. Once again, y'all, this was prophecy. We literally built up the lands of these heathen, and we have no ownership nor credit over it. Ain't that something? Let me get 1 second. Right here, Nehemiah 9 and 36. It says, behold, we are servants this day, and for the land that thou gavest unto our fathers to eat the fruit thereof, and in the good thereof, behold, we are servants in it. Now, this is dealing with the ancient land, literally, y'all. We were given the Holy Land, lost it, and we became slaves in our own land and all the places where we were scattered, right? Verse 37. And it yieldeth much increase unto the kings whom thou hast set over us because of our sins. Also they have dominion over our bodies and over our cattle and at their pleasure, and we are in great distress. They own everything that we build and labor for, y'all, according to the prophecy. So what is Matt Walsh talking about? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing, y'all. And for anyone to believe any of what he was saying, you simply you're just choosing to believe a lie. It's not even worth hoopling and hollering about. It's simply a lie. It's literally simply a lie. Let me do this. That's crazy, man. It's something new every day, boy. Yep. Deuteronomy 28 and 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. They would rape our wives. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Plain and simple. So we did much and many labor, and they take it from us. We don't get the joy of it, nor the credit. Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knewest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. Still to this day, y'all, this happened in other captivities, and it's happening today. We built everything. I won't say everything. We built much and many, and came up with inventions and innovations to make everyone's lives easier. And do we get any credit? Absolutely not. How about that? Hey, so let me go back.
Slaves did not build this country. This country was built over the course of hundreds of years, beginning long before it was a country. The building started in the 1400s when the first European explorers sailed across treacherous and uncharted seas to discover these lands. It continued with the European settlers in the 1500s and 1600s who built a life for themselves in this unknown wilderness, facing untold threats and, for many of them, certain death. This country was built by the colonists and the American revolutionaries. It was built by the pioneers who expanded the country from the east, heading west out into a hostile wilderness occupied by warring Indian tribes. It was built by war and conquest, by discovery, by diplomacy, by industry. It was built and then nearly undone by a civil war that killed 620,000 men, then built up again, only to thrive once more. The country was built by the people who made it into the world's great power in the 20th century, who won world wars and brought about peace and economic prosperity. It was built by many people over many centuries. And for a portion of that history, some people in some parts of the country owned slaves.
Yeah. That's not it. Hey, so he's just lying, y'all. Give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai Bashem Kadosh Barakah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'll actually end it there. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah, give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Hey, double honors to the elders and apostles of their millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations. All like Akim. Well, Aqua, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. Shalom, y'all.